Hi guys, Ricky Pope here from the Christian Nerds Unite podcast. On the show, we dive deep into our nerdy fandoms and look at them through the lens of our faith by chatting with Christian content creators and experts who love comics, science, video games, media, sci-fi, and fantasy, discovering how their faith shapes their creative work and their lives. You can listen on your favorite podcast app or find links to everything at ChristianNerdsUnite.com.
So Forged in Fires.
Kyle Mann.
I'm J. Warner Wallace.
Kira Davis.
This is Ben Adams.
Hey, this is Dave Baker.
Carrie Pomeroli.
This is Mike Reiner.
This is Ethan Nicole.
This is Leanne Morgan.
This is Graham Parker, the 5th GP, and this is why you should never
How I got suckered in.
I'm so embarrassed that I'm here.
You're wasting your time. You got better things to do.
never listen.
Those darling, yummy Reverend and the Reprobate.
Everybody, welcome to the Reverend and the Reprobate, a show about two best buds interviewing people they have no business talking to. My name is Lucas Pinkert. I'm an actual pastor, and here with me, as always, is a man who cannot auto-regulate the temperature in his home because he broke the thermostat. It's Dan Flip Gibson.
That's not completely true.
It's
a different thermostat.
Okay, so I want to know what this story is because all you gave us prior to shooting this episode.
So what do you want to know? There's three things.
There are three things. And you really explained the third one to us, which I do not think we should discuss.
So the other two, you're choosing the thermostat.
Yes,
so
I'm going to choose.
I shouldn't have said thermostat as much as thermometer. The thermometer that I use, my brand new thermometer that I got to smoke meat, I broke it.
This story got 80% less interesting. Okay, so how did you broke your meat thermometer?
Well, I wanted to test it out. So I got, my chimney. I'm smoking some meat. I got my chimney set out. I poured a bunch of charcoal in it, light it up, open up the booklet on how to use the thermometer. Almost said thermostat again.
Yeah.
And so I really wanted to put this through the paces. I'm checking out the ambient temperature, and it's like 70 degrees. So I go and stick it in the chimney and then leave it alone for a little bit, forget about it, come back, pull that sucker out, and it is glowing orange. And it just says on the read of the thermostat, it just says HHH.
Haven't you done this before?
This was a couple weeks ago.
Okay.
But we didn't talk about it.
No, we didn't.
It just says HHH, which I looked up means hot, hot, hot. So that one is ruined now.
Yeah,
that probe,
no doubt.
That probe is ruined.
Yeah.
It's unusable.
Yep.
Now, from now on, when I plug it in, because I've done it since then, it just says H.
Just regular H?
Yeah.
Wow.
I mean, you went down 2 H's. So
Who is this talking? Whoa! Who's this guy? Who's this guy between us? For those of you who haven't been keeping up with the Reverend and the Reprobate podcast, this voice that you hear in between mine and Flip's is Camden.
Camden
is becoming a Star Wars. This is episode 3.
Mm-hmm.
Camden also
go up.
Is
go down.
Goes to the pediatric dentist. We found out the last Camden becomes a Star Wars episode.
Also, we really screwed up the last one.
How
What
so?
did we do?
We did not talk at all about Anakin breaking bad and going and slaughtering the families of the Raiders,
Meh.
the Sand People.
That's really good for the prequel memes, but it's boring.
He slaughtered an entire village.
Who does he think he is, Andrew Jackson?
What do you think that says on the American Revolution? Come on.
What are you doing? You're just taking out a whole group of indigenous people,
You're
and
just
you think
acting
that
like
that's
Chris
newsworthy?
Columbus. That's it.
Hear all about it.
Yeah.
Nah.
So that we can skip past it, but we did not talk about it.
Just some other colonizer of Tatooine.
It is at least worth mentioning that he slaughtered a whole bunch of people.
Yeah. I think
women
hand
and
in hand with him doing that is that you got pranked at work.
Well, I know we're going to talk about this now.
Yeah, for sure.
Laffy Taffy.
Yeah, well, you're smacking your Laffy Taffy in this audio medium.
So my company does a really good job
of
security.
And this is Randy Dan's operators.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Of cybersecurity. So much so that they prank their own employees.
Pass me that sweet tart ropes.
Oh, what the heck? I want some of those.
Okay, well, sorry.
Let me have one.
No, finish your story.
Don't eat it all.
Finish your story.
So I get this email.
Yeah.
Right. That says, "Hey, here's your bonus information. It's bonus time." It's got a little zip file, and I go, "Oh, sweet." Click on it, and I've got a big monitor at work. Right. It shows up, big red hand. Burn, like wow. What the heck?
It gave me
This
some.
is 1/4 of one.
Yep.
This is not fair distribution.
I'm not worried about
So-
fair distribution, Lennon. Finish your
So
story.
because I clicked on a zip file that was my company teaching me a lesson, it was them. Then they said, "Oh, you have to take this security training now because you failed."
Nice.
And I was like, "Well, what about my bonus?"
Did you get the bonus?
I don't know yet. It's still bonus time, but they still haven't announced it.
Maybe the bonus you get is more training. that's your bonus. Is
But
more
I gotta
training.
say, that is the better training than the training that I took today, which is just a 15-minute video.
Yeah.
You know, the training of now I don't want that big giant red hand to pop up on my screen and then me go take 15 minutes of training.
And aren't you in like a bullpen area to where like other people can see
Oh,
what's
yeah.
on your screen?
Oh yeah, everyone. First off, everyone else got it too, and they
You're the only one that fell for it?
no,
Oh, how many of y'all had to go take the training?
everyone except one. So like 1 out of 7. Someone else got different kinds.
Yep.
One guy has been, his wife's been going through. She had surgery, and he's been out of the office for like a month, helping her rehab. And
He was just trying to check his emails.
no, his guys called and they said, "Hey, we got an email from you, but if the email was spelled wrong, is it right? It says you have a family emergency. You had to go home." And that was the fish attack from the company.
Oh no.
That's
So he was not happy about
That's
that.
No joke.
I do think it was a coincidence, but
Right.
man,
Yeah, ooh.
it's at least poor taste.
For sure. So, Randy,
messed up.
Dan, how are you going to remedy that in the future?
Well, I'm going to pay attention to my emails. One
Yeah.
thing you want to look for is links that are hidden, a hyperlink that doesn't have the exact web address, but it may say click here.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, for sure.
You want to check the address that's sending you an email, make sure it's spelled correctly, make sure you know who it is.
Yep.
There's kind of a bunch of flags, but those are some big ones.
Yeah. So the third thing that we said we weren't going to talk about, I want to discuss because.
I don't think it's fair.
Okay, so here's why I
I
want
can't believe that I only got.
Here's why I want to talk about it. I want to highlight the work that the lovely Mrs. Gibson did for your goddaughter.
And I bankrolled.
Yeah. So
Which is
if you
as important.
if you check, is she doing all this stuff on TikTok or is she doing it on Instagram or is it both?
Insta, Facebook. I may be on TikTok too.
Okay, and so she's I think Girly Gibson on those things. She is a master at repurposing items.
I know. She
Which
does a really
Dan
good
Lee
job.
absolutely hates because what
Just 'cause
happens
it takes up space. That's
right.
it.
Yeah, because he'll see something that comes into his garage that is obviously something someone else wanted to get rid of.
You should go, when you get home, we got to go pick something up. I go, what?
Yeah, and it's
It's an entertainment center. Why?
why? Yeah.
I'm gonna reuse it.
But so she turned
How
it
long?
into this very cute little
Dress-up station.
vanity / dress up station for
A little girl. It's
a
got
daughter of a mutual friend of
sparkles.
ours. Yeah.
Sparkles. It's painted up.
It's got little vanity lights on it. It's very
it's-
very cute, very sweet.
I think the right way to say it would be it's friggin' cute.
yes. And then you guys loaded it up with Disney princess dresses. And in my mind, especially after seeing The Little Mermaid this weekend with my wife, that there is no point. Yeah, The Little Mermaid came out. And we
Kind of
can
like putting lipstick on a pig, but that's all right.
Yeah, I don't know. Something close to that. So, no, I think the way I described it.
You wouldn't say that.
No, how I described it was that it was the best. It's the best of the Disney live action movies that I've seen so far, which is kind of like being the prettiest pig at the stock show. I think that's how I described
Well,
it
I
to
would
my
say it
wife.
the other way.
My wife, who disagreed with that, but then said that I'm entitled to my opinion, which I thanked her. I thanked her for giving me permission
Thank
to
you,
have my
honey.
own opinion. Yeah. So, but I have learned that kind of like Kirsten, even now, like the idea of the Disney princess is still a very cool thing. You know, my wife's mid-20s, my sister's in her 30s, and we still have a lot of friends. As all you can hear, this is episode 3 of Danley Gets Diabetes. Where they all sort of have their Disney princess that they grew up with, and idyllically and all that stuff. So I don't think this is something that just for little girls is incredibly cool and cute, but also like for moms and godmoms and stuff like that, which is what Heather is. Heather's this young lady's godmother.
Correct, and you should respect your godparents.
Yeah. So where this gets weird is
It's not weird.
is with you.
So it started with
And
her getting very excited about Moana. There's this Moana dress in there.
Yep.
She comes out. They've done put like the flowers in her hair.
Oh, very cool.
She has the
Very
little
cute.
oar.
Yeah.
She's got the Pua, I think the pig. And I was like, that
Yeah.
one, oh, that's adorable.
Right, absolutely.
We all ooh and ah. I said, hey, would you go try on Belle's dress? This beautiful, big, golden
Ballroom gown.
Ballroom gown. And she just looks at me in the face and stares at me. And nothing. And then she walks off. And then her parents, of course, go, that means that she heard what you said. She's acknowledging that you were speaking and that it won't be happening.
That it's not happening. So she's a teenager already.
Yeah, and I was like, what the heck?
Yeah.
Like, I threw my back out bringing this friggin' thing over here. I don't think it's too much to ask to go put on a pretty dress.
Yeah.
Apparently, that's a weird thing for a grown man to do.
It is a little strange. It is a little strange to get.
I don't think it is. I was like, hey, I want to see you in a pretty dress. I brought this one over. This one's pretty.
I think when we do a good job of setting up the context, it's less weird.
Yeah. Me just blurting
But
out.
like completely
I was
out of
mad
context.
at my 5-year-old goddaughter for not
She
putting
didn't
on a
put
dress.
on the dress I wanted her. You're like, whoa, wow.
No, I think this is just old school masculinity, not toxic. Old school masculinity, where we go, girls should be wearing pretty dresses. I think that's okay. You quit high roading me.
I'm not high roading you.
You are. You're going.
I'm
gonna let you stew in that. I think that's perfectly fine.
I'm not high roading. I'm distancing.
Boys should be wearing suits. Girls should be wearing pretty dresses.
When's the last time you wore a suit?
I don't fit in mine anymore. So a little while.
So
I don't know what it is.
So I'm gonna suggest to
these
your
trolleys, though.
I'm gonna suggest to your goddaughter that the next time she sees you, she demands that you put on a suit for her, and
She
see
used
how,
to give me one
see how that goes.
and throw her back out, bringing a whole box of them
She's
over.
5. She's not gonna throw her back out. Also, I will help her, and will, if you want me to help you and your daughter select a suit for Dan to wear. I know a couple of great shops where we can get something that would be so magnificent
Just covered
to
in
see him
like
in for
green
the
dollar
show.
signs or
Yeah, it's
something just awful.
it's a morph suit. Do you remember those?
yeah,
the morph
green,
suits?
the all green.
Oh
or
yeah,
the,
yeah. They had the
I think you
different
should
ones.
get
I
one
would
of the
love-
suits from Dumb and Dumber.
oh, yeah, man. I never have worn one. Baby blue, orange. Also, good reference, dude. You were coming in clutch more and more.
Yeah. Well, speaking of coming in clutch, what do you got for us today?
How's
Can't
your
Become
car?
to Star Wars Episode 3. Yeah.
It works. It runs.
All right.
How's your
Awesome.
tensegrity table?
It's standing.
Haven't been any cool dates?
Is there any tabletop to it?
No. There's stuff on it though.
You know what? I don't think you should rush the top. I do think it should happen. Put some thought into it.
That's what I'm saying though.
Again, you can put a friggin' cardboard on top of it if you want, but I think what we talked about, what would make it a 10 is some slate.
Like a nice piece of slate.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd make it a
Granted,
10.
is a little pricey
Yeah.
and heavy.
But nope.
I still think see-through would work really cool.
I'm thinking
That's what I want to do. I want to get glass.
7 segrity table
Yeah.
right now.
Agreed. Revenge of the Sith, my friends.
Revengeance of the segrity table.
So what
Yeah.
rating, what ranking are we going to describe this as?
Burnt
younglings.
Anakin Skywalker limbs. Oh yeah, we could go with dead younglings. Wow, you get really dark. So
Okay, so 1 out of 10.
dead younglings.
What was the first? What was it? Was Dead Yoda?
Yeah,
all
yeah, he gave
pretty
us
dark.
dead Yodas. Yeah, they've all been. The last one was worm pooping assassin droids. Was the last one that we did. And then they've all been a little dark.
1 out of 10 pregnant Padmes. Which one?
I feel more comfortable with 1 out of 10 deceased younglings.
Also, beautiful dresses in this one, guys.
So
Lots of pretty hair.
I don't know if y'all have listened to the other episodes, but there is this like Creeper Dan theme in all of them from Return of the Jedi on.
What's wrong with pretty dresses?
It's not.
She's a princess, dude.
Okay, so it's not the pretty dress. It's that you go, hey, Camden.
How about Padme?
Man, what'd you think about her in that dress? She was showing a lot of shoulder. And then Camden like continues to talk, and you're like, yeah, but what about that dress? Like you're moving further and further and further away from, hey, we're affiliated with Christian Nerd HQ, and more like
we're about to be.
Welcome to Quagmire's Corner with Dan Gibson.
Yeah.
All right, so
It'll be a cut to our next episode. We're crying. We've been kicked out in the CCA.
yeah. Thanks a lot, Dave.
All right, what?
Yeah.
Out of 10.
Yeah, out of 10. Crispy,
I like
crispy body limbs from Anakin.
I like this one. I'd say
Okay.
it's like a 7.5.
Okay.
What do you rank it?
Okay. Well, I'm just thinking this puts it out of your top 3.
No, it's in my top 3. The highest I've given so far is like an 8.
Is it an 8? Is it an 8?
I think so.
Yeah.
I believe
I'll
that's
have to.
Yeah.
I'll have to adjust the.
Yeah. Okay.
things after
Yeah. You
watching
know what?
all
That's
of them.
right. Because we're Jedi, Empire, and then it was A New Hope, and A New Hope held strong against episodes 1 and 2, and then now we're at 7.5. So this does put it into
The top 3.
the top 3.
What did you? Or I guess we can go to what did you like or your questions.
Oh no! Here's what we're gonna do. Okay. We're gonna go to 2 weeks ago, if you listened or watched our episode, Camden
2 weeks
Becomes a
ago.
Star Wars episode 2. Dan said he was going to take the summary from Screen Rant, put it into Chat GPT, and then have Chat GPT rewrite it as not from Screen Rant. Dan, how'd you do on your homework?
Well, I'm logged into the wrong one. I forgot about that. Truth be told, but
I forgot about it too until I
did-
was editing that episode today, and I was like, I'm bringing this up.
But what
as
I
soon as we
did
get into
do
it, yeah.
was, and I'm logged into the wrong Chat GPT right now.
Okay,
I apparently
sure.
have 2.
All
what
right.
I did do was ask Chat GPT to write a Star Wars movie where the Muppets are in it, and
Okay.
Kanye West is this hidden Sith,
Okay,
and it wrote a whole plot.
okay. Well, why don't you find that plot summary while
I don't want
Camden
to.
tells
I wanna
us
talk about
about
this. It wasn't that good.
Oh well, there you go.
I don't want to waste y'all's time.
Is it not that good because the writers are on strike and Chat GPT can't do it in somebody else's voice?
It was just like a generic plot. It was said, oh, there's a hidden Sith, and Yoda is Kermit, but there wasn't any explosions. I need any more detail.
There wasn't any witty banter
Right.
between what's the name of their band? The Electric what?
Mayhem.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
All right.
We got a good skeleton plot, but overall, we'd probably give it like a 3.
Look for Camden Becomes a Star Wars episode 3.5 when we walk out the plot of Danley's Chat GPT Star Wars film starring the Muppets that Camden makes with popsicle sticks and construction paper.
Where Kanye Ye is the hidden threat.
In the Jose Fuego style.
Just
So
cut
anyway.
this is nonsense.
I like it.
Fine.
My favorite part is you gone with your Laffy Taffy of all things. Camden,
It's good. Laffy Taffy is
Yes.
good.
talk to us about Star Wars Episode 3, Return of the Sith.
I enjoyed it. I didn't write down that much. Normally I have like 3 pages. I got like 1.5.
Okay, so
How many questions do you have? If you do a quick tally,
I don't know.
yeah,
20.
Let's
Several.
Yep. All right. Several's good. Let's start with the things like we've done. We do have a formula to this. Let's start with the things that you like.
because our formula is, what do you got next? What do you got next?
Yeah. It's
What's next?
It's what do you like? What else? That's it.
Yeah.
That's it.
All right, go ahead.
Yeah.
What did you
so
like?
tell us some stuff that you like. And each time you tell us something you
I-
like, I'll give you a nerd.
A single nerd.
If I think it's good, I'll give you one too. But it's got to be something
That'll be good.
you like
All
that
right,
was
yeah,
also good.
yeah. Come on.
I thought General Grievous was pretty cool. His forearms. But one of my first questions
His
is
forearms, or that he has cuatro armos.
So you can just spell things from now on.
Yeah. Do you really like
Is it
General
forearms?
Grievous's forearms?
F-O-R-E or F-O-U-R?
No, okay.
Oh,
His-
General Grievous's forearms were so cool.
The fact that he
It was
has
Jack, bro.
4 full arms
Yeah.
to swing lightsabers
When they
with.
separate, he's got the two, and they go
Like
very,
Goro?
Very cool.
Also, what is General Grievous? Because he's like a half.
I don't know.
He's like half organic, but mostly. It was weird. Because
Yeah.
my first question is, why is he coughing? Because I thought he was just like a robot,
Yeah.
which doesn't make sense why he would be coughing. But then it shows like a close up of his face, and he has like real eyes, and like you can see skin. And then during the fight with Obi-Wan, he like opens his chest, and you can see like a beating heart and some other like weird stuff going around in there.
Yep.
So what is he?
General Grievous is a very, very complicated character. And I don't think that, like, there's no place really within the Star Wars cinematic universe where they really address it. And then even in, like, the Clone Wars animated series, they sort of allude to this fact that, like, General Grievous isn't what he once was, or, he's not a man anymore, is what they say. It's sort of along the lines of when Luke is talking about Darth Vader, and they say, and Obi-Wan says he's more machine than man. Mm-hmm. There's a lot of allusions to that kind of stuff, but I don't know the entire. I don't know the entire backstory, but they make a lot of allusions in everything that he was a man or some type of.
He is a cool character.
Sentient being, yeah.
And this is up George Lucas's alley to make a cool, mysterious character, and then make 3 terrible movies about his backstory that no one cares about. So we can expect that, I believe.
Well, I don't remember any movies about General Grievous's backstory.
Darth Vader is what I'm referring to.
Oh, yeah. Well.
Don't care about his background. I just want to see more Vader. I've discussed this already. General Grievous is cool. We can go back to where he was a carpenter.
So are his forearms. Maybe that's why he's got such great forearms, is because of his carpentry. Because of his carpentry.
Yeah.
He doesn't really have much of forearms. They're more of just like
they were pretty thin
sticks. Yeah.
As the carpenter do. All right, what's next?
R2.
Okay, hold on. Grievous was originally an organic reptilian humanoid native to the planet Khalil. The Khalil, or the Kalesh, were at war with a rival Huk species, blah, blah, blah. And he was considered a demigod by his people for his victories in the war. He fell in love with a warrior. Following her death during a mission, he realized that he was destined to forever mourn for her and rechristened himself as Grievous. Ooh, that's dark. He became a warlord, and his swift attacks promoted his enemies to turn to Jedi Knights. With the help of the Galactic Republic, heavy fines and embargoes came down because of it. Thousands of Grievous's people starved and died in poverty. Appealing to Grievous's hatred of the Jedi and the Republic, the banking clan establishes him as their enforcer. There you go.
And then he chain smoked camels for 20 years, giving him emphysema.
Yeah. Count Dooku puts him against Asajj Ventress. Blah blah blah. Now, here we go. Dooku convinced the mortally wounded Grievous, after he wounds him, that the Jedi were responsible for his homeworld's plight and were the ones who caused this crash. And Grievous accepts Dooku's offer to reconstruct him with a cyborg body.
He says, I have an idea.
Yep.
A trade embargo. Revenge.
That was the banking clan that did that. That wasn't Dooku.
It was the same group.
Nah.
It was all from the same terrible
I'm going to
idea.
use my very patented argument here.
Nah.
Yeah. All right, Camden. After General Grievous's forearm,
What else you got?
what's the second most appealing body part of General
Look at
Grievous?
that shirt. What else you got, Camden?
What else you got, Camden? What else?
Cut.
I thought R2 was a freaking beast. Like,
Yeah.
whenever he's like,
Yep.
like he takes down those 2 like buff robots at the whatever ship they were at, just by like spewing a bunch of oil on the ground and then using his thrusters to like blow them up.
Lighting him on fire.
He's like a He's like MacGyver. He uses
Something like that.
what's around him. I mean, he's got some kind of weaponry, but not a whole lot.
He
What he
has
does
that little,
have
he has
is-
that little probe electric.
What he
mini
does
that
have
fights
is a
off the
can-do
buzzsaw with.
attitude and a not quitting spirit. How's that?
Deep.
I agree. I do love that Camden has gone from what's the point of R2D2
He's a
to
baller.
R2D2's a baller.
He is.
He is cool. R2D2 is very cool. He was cool in the old ones. He was very cool in the new ones, although they gave him too much stuff, like the rocket legs. You know, the rockets on the that is cool. Unnecessary. Why does he have those?
I mean, he
can
uses
better
them
run the
pretty
moisture
often.
farms.
But not in the originals.
Yeah, you don't see him in the originals.
He was like, you know what? I don't need to fly anymore.
Carbon scoring?
I'm staying on the ground now. I'm grounded.
How is he powered?
Electricity.
But like, what is his power source?
Midichlorians. You are such a Star Wars now.
Yeah.
I said midichlorians, you giggle.
like
That's right.
He does plug in to recharge.
He does.
Yeah.
Oh,
He's got a battery. Mm-hmm. Duracell.
did you know at 23 minutes and 52 seconds you can
Nope.
see the Millennium Falcon?
But you can see what?
You can see the
Millennium
what?
Falcon.
The Millennium.
The
Millennium.
Millennium. Hold on, what?
Hold on. Hold on. You're messing me up.
Oh, yeah, sorry, this is our fault.
Millennium. There we
Yeah, the Millennium Falcon.
Excellent. No, I did not
No,
know
yeah,
that.
what's the Millennium Falcon doing?
go. Like whenever
Just
Obi-Wan,
running the Kessel Run?
whenever Obi-Wan and Anakin are like come in at to that like port thing, whatever that is, and that bus-looking ship thing.
Yeah.
The
I know what you're
Millennium
talking
Falcon
about.
also pulls into the place.
Do you think it's actually the Millennium Falcon, or do you think it's just another Corellian cruiser?
Corellian Cruiser. That's a fancy name.
Thank you.
I don't know,
I think it's the
but
Falcon.
it's one of them.
Well, if it is the Falcon at that time, then it's got the centerpiece because that hasn't been knocked out yet.
Excuse me.
I don't know. I just remember seeing it and being like, "Oh, that's the Millennium Falcon."
Yeah.
Good job, buddy.
Well did.
Sharp eyes beneath those heavy glasses,
That are freshly clean.
which are very clean.
They're gleaming.
Are you going to go buy one of those boxes of cleaners now?
Probably not.
No, he won't. Even though now he's got a
You're just
job.
going to show up next week with smudgy glasses. I'm going to go here.
Yeah, here, take another one
Take
of my
another one.
wipes.
I will bring
Walmart
more.
has
Take
a lot
another
of
one
them.
of Uncle Dan's wipes
No, that's weird.
and put on this dress for me.
I will get mad if you don't.
Right, yeah. What else you got?
Does
I'm just rolling with it. I mean, there's no reason to not. Let's lean into it. If this is going to be what we do, let's just make it what we do.
When in doubt, Camden, what you got?
Camden, what you got? What else?
does General Grievous know that Darth Sidious is also Palpatine?
No,
They
he
don't?
doesn't. No,
Okay.
he doesn't.
I thought about that and I wasn't sure.
As a matter of fact, Dooku does not know that Dark Sidious is also Palpatine.
Really?
Yeah, that.
So nobody knows?
Nobody knows about it.
He's doing it right.
Anakin is kind of the one that uncovers it, and then Mace
Pal-
Windu confirms it, as you saw at the end of this movie.
And
Palpatine's
then he
doing
dies.
it right.
Freaking loser.
So I don't know about that.
I think that he could have survived it, but I know it was implied that he died.
So Star
survived
Wars,
what?
The Fall.
Whenever
Which fall?
Mace
whenever
Windu at the
Anakin,
end.
like throws him out the window.
Do you remember this movie?
Yeah, I'm asking for our audience.
Oh, if you guys haven't seen Revenge of the Sith,
What are you doing here?
there's a high chance you're going to get some spoilers. But the movie's been out for 20 years.
Yeah, we might need a
so it's
reminder.
from
So he
frickin' fall.
gets thrown out of a window
Yeah, he
19,
gets thrown
19.
in
he's
a-
been thrown. I'm rounding
in a
up.
death fight
Yeah.
with Mace Windu
2004.
with a purple lightsaber.
Yeah, Mace Windu is not in a death fight with himself. Mace Windu does get thrown out by Anakin.
He goes to kill
But Star
Palpatine.
Wars has this history
Cuts his
of
head
like
off.
characters that fall down.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
they never die.
They never die, right?
No.
You know, like Luke falls into
fall down, you're
to
fine.
that chute. Yeah, and he's like one arm
I'll be fine.
catches himself with his legs like he's some sort of Olympic gymnast.
Yeah, he's gonna catch himself or reach out through the Force or
Yeah.
unrelated. Doesn't matter.
Right.
He's not
so
gonna die.
yeah, so he falls
You can
and
get
is
cut
fine.
in half and fall down. You're fine.
Darth Maul falls and is
In half.
and is he's in
He's
half and is
fine.
fine because he's so fueled by his hatred.
Yeah, he's fine.
Yeah. But there are a lot of characters that fall down and go, I'm fine.
That's not what happens to me.
No.
I carry one dress-up station and my back goes out.
Did you fall?
And then the dang 5-year-old won't put it on.
She won't wear to the dress-up station. So, yeah, there are a lot of characters, and there are a lot of like Boba Fett is another one. Into the Sarlacc pit, and yet he's got his own series now where, a couple of those episodes were taken by Din Djarin. But there's a lot of this, like, oh, I fell.
Have you heard?
But not really.
Have you heard on Parks and Recreation? There's a scene where Patton Oswalt shows up. Shows up.
Oh yeah,
and he does the rant. He's filibustering. He's ranting about how
Boba Fett's going to come back.
Not dead, and he number one, that was him just riffing,
right?
Which was very cool. Go look it up if you haven't seen it. It's like a 5-minute scene where
it's long.
He filibusters just talking about Star
But
Wars.
But it's essentially the plot.
He essentially calls the plot,
of episode 1
episode.
Right. But it was and is as good as
except
that
for the
is,
Marvel crossover.
Yeah, like as good as that is to like see that and be like, oh my gosh, look, these two things connect. Like this was a Star Wars fan theory, like from the novels, right? Like what he's talking about is something that was like written in the novels, that Boba Fett wasn't dead. Like how could you kill Boba Fett? And I feel like Darth Maul was almost one of those things. George Lucas was like, yeah, you think it was cool for me to kill Boba Fett? Watch what I'm about to do with Darth Maul. He's in all of the commercials leading up to it. We're all super excited about it. He gets one line, like the 3 minutes of screen time, he's dead. And we're like, well, that sucks. Why don't we, go listen to Anakin cry about sand for an hour in 3 years? So
and be creepy towards Padme.
Yeah, for sure. Yep. Him and Uncle Dan pretty creepy towards Padme. You know what, Camden?
She's beautiful.
I want to just take a shirt and just cut the shoulders out of it and just put you here and just see if Danley doesn't start like just rubbing.
Sure do like a good shoulder.
Yep. So you see Grievous, you like Grievous's forearms. You got a lot of respect now for R2-D2 that he's finally earned. Mace Windu gets thrown out of the window. We don't know if he's dead or alive, but we are certain Dooku and Grievous, they didn't know that Palpatine was the Chancellor and Darth Sidious. What did you think about Count Dooku's very unceremonious decapitation at the beginning of this film?
Oh yeah, I didn't think Anakin was actually going to do it. I thought he was going to let him go, and then Palpatine just goes, "Do it," and then he's headless.
It's weird to me, like in that scene, is that Ian McDermott very
who is that
distinctly the guy that plays Palpatine, / Darth Sidious, his voice changes into Palpatine's voice there. Like it's very deliberate in the way that he did it, and I think that at the very beginning,
the Rebel fleet.
Yeah, at the very beginning of the movie, it gives you this like, oh, okay, so now we're what we've been suspecting, what the audience has been waiting for. Now he's getting way more casual with the fact that he has these two people. So
I respect Palpatine's game and keeping his plans solely to himself. I enjoy a good keep the cards close to your chest kind of deal.
Yeah, for sure.
I like it.
Your turn.
What you got?
How did George Lucas come up with some of these words like Jedi, Wookiee? Are these just like random words that he thought sounded cool, or?
I have no idea.
You got the same question for Gene Roddenberry and Worf and.
I don't have any questions for
Romulans.
Gene Roddenberry.
Why?
I don't even care about her.
He made cool stuff.
I know too many women named Gene.
Have, some ridiculous ideas.
Oh, for sure. Yeah,
that's not what we're talking about. So does JL, George Lucas, the man of the hour.
And
GL?
L. Ron Hubbard.
And L. Ron Hubbard. he's got a good run.
Some really weird ideas.
He took it too far. I'll say that. I'm not afraid to say that. He took it too far.
Well, it was very brave of you.
he took science fiction too far.
Too far. Yep.
He's like, you know what I'm gonna do? We're gonna make this real.
I'm gonna go to Florida and make a briefcase to count your midichlorians.
I'm gonna get a ship and put a whole bunch of people on and make them worship me.
Did I ever tell you? Okay, so Camden, I used to date this girl, and she was doing an internship at the Clearwater Marine Aquarium, where that movie Dolphin Tale about the dolphin that's got no tail. I got to swim with that dolphin. She was doing a thing there.
I've seen. What's her name?
Winter is the name of the dolphin, right? So I get to swim with the dolphin. I got pictures of me with the tailless dolphin. This is also Clearwater, Florida. Is also
what happened?
like
They got cut off, right? They harvest the fins or something.
No. She got caught in a fishing net.
Okay.
Yep. So we're walking down the streets of Clearwater, and this is like the Scientology hub. And I kid you not, there are real people with briefcases that want to hook you up to this briefcase machine
and measure your
to count, your zurgnuts or whatever. Basically. So the person was asking me.
No, that's wine.
Yeah, like it's really weird. And so like we really do. We end up in this situation. Me and a couple of the other boyfriends of girls that worked at the at the Marine Aquarium. We're walking down downtown Clearwater, and it's like all Scientology stuff. And so we get approached by this guy with a briefcase, and he's like, "Hey, I can count your blah blah blah." And I was like, "Does that thing test for midichlorians?" And he's like, "No." What are midichlorians?
That is
and
better.
So I go into this like whole spiel about the force and that like
the force behind Josh.
Whatever. And so I mention
it's all around us.
I mention Yoda. And
maybe that can measure.
And after like 2 or 3 minutes, I mentioned Yoda. I was like, yeah, Yoda's midichlorian count was so high that there's only ever been one human that's been as close to him, and he's like, "Oh, is that the Star Wars stuff? That's bogus." I was like, all right.
Give me your magic stick and let's measure the thetans.
Think we're out of here. Yeah. It basically it looked like, because he opened up the briefcase, it looks like a really primitive like seismograph that somebody attached EKG pads to. Like it looks as much like it's about to send a tense machine shock through your system.
Like it was made by that kid that made the alarm clock.
Yes. Right? It looks
like good,
in Iron Man
job
3.
You made a thing.
In Iron Man 3 when he lands and he ends up
in the kid's garage.
Yeah, he ends up in the kid's garage. It looked like something from that kid's garage.
Yeah, the E-meter was made in Joe's garage.
But it was like it was Joe's garage plus a little bit of Sid from Toy Story, and then a lot of I don't need to do this.
Yeah.
So, yep. But yeah, him telling me the midichlorians, no, that's fake. I was like, I appreciate.
So he was on board until you mentioned Yoda.
Yeah. Oh yeah, he was into midichlorians until I mentioned Yoda, and then that was when he was like, oh, is that the Star Wars thing? I was like, busted. So, yep. Yeah, there you go. There's my Scientology spiel.
Cool.
It's my one time with the Scientologist.
What's another question you have?
And my Winter the Dolphin experience all rolled into one story.
And if it's a good one, you get a nerd.
I'm out.
Oh.
You can give some away still. Yeah.
This is a small one. That one's for Daddy.
So weird. Yeah, what else? What other questions do you have? So you weren't expecting Dooku to get decapitated?
No, I thought Anakin was going to let him go, and then he did not.
The Clone Wars does a really good job, if you watch the cartoon, of explaining how much turmoil is going on in the Jedi Order right now and how conflicted Anakin is. Because
does the TV show take place in between the Clone Wars movie and this movie?
Yeah, it does. And there's some overlap in both, right? So, you also get some really cool scenes like, okay, so Obi-Wan is working with, like, his squad is all the guys that are in yellow that are under Commander Cody, right? He talks to Commander Cody a couple of times, and then when Order 66 comes down, they start to try to shoot him down, and it's Commander Cody who's the one that's trying to shoot him down. In Star Wars, The Clone Wars, the animated series, you've got like 200 episodes. Well, probably around there. You got at least 150 episodes of Obi-Wan and Commander Cody working together. You've got their backstories. You have all of this collaboration that they're doing, and you see how deep their relationship is because in the
deep.
Republic, you've got some people that are like trying to use the clones as though they're droids, that they're just like fodder. Like, who cares? We can make more of them, let them die. And then the
They
Jedi
ain't got no souls.
Right. And then the Jedi who command them, who are doing a really good job of trying to take care of their troops, because they realize that even though the clones are the same, that each one of them have unique personalities, and they get to work with them and that kind of thing. And then to see them turn on them, it gives Order 66 a whole different feel, and it really kind of explains some of the turmoil that's going on within Anakin. I think particularly as it relates to the new Star Wars series that's coming out, Ahsoka, because right before the events,
First off, it introduces Ahsoka.
Yeah, it introduces Ahsoka, but right before the events of Revenge of the Sith, one of the things that happens is that Ahsoka leaves the Jedi Order. She completely walks away from it because like they accused her, or she got framed by another Padawan for like bombing one of the Jedi temples or something like that. Then the Jedi Council like strips Ahsoka of her title. They're for sure that she did it. She has to go and track down the person that really did it. And then the Jedi Council's like, "Oh, our bad." And
Blind
she's like,
we have been.
Yeah, and she's like, "No, I'm done."
Yoda called it, right?
Yeah. And so she's like, "No, I'm done." Well, that's Anakin's Padawan. Mm-hmm. So he walks through all of that stuff with her. So when you see him on the ship, he's been chasing Dooku for, years. All of this has happened, and so that series gives this friction point at the very beginning of this movie a lot more meaning, and it also really does a good job of turning Anakin into a much more three-dimensional character, other than like an angry kid that got tricked by the Chancellor. Like, there's a lot more angst that's built up there.
Yeah.
What
do you think?
What does you think
about the way that Padme dies? That she dies of a broken heart.
She just what did they say? She just lost her will to live.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's kind of dumb.
I agree.
They're just and she didn't want to be alive anymore, so she's
like, here's 2 kids. Good luck, you two. I don't know.
So I used to agree.
Yeah.
Pastoring,
but then you drank the Kool-Aid.
No.
Down in Florida.
Pastoring has changed the way I look at this, because I've seen too many couples. Now, granted,
I eat all these nerds, I'm sorry.
They're typically older couples, but what happens is, you've been married 30, 40, 50 years, 60 years in some cases, and that, as soon as, particularly, it more often than not, in my experience, anyway, it happens to men, is that when their wife passes away, normally, if they don't get remarried or they don't have a strong family around them of multiple generations of grandkids, great grandkids, that kind of thing, 3 months and they're done. They stop taking care of themselves. They really lose the will to live. And we recently did, we recently hosted a couple of funerals that were like this. This lady passed away and her husband passed away within 3 weeks. And then a couple of years ago, it was the exact opposite. That it was this younger guy that passes away. His wife was about a decade older than him, and she sort of had this same almost type of thing. And then 2 weeks later, she's just they don't know what to do. She's sick, and that was literally what the doctor said. It's what he told her family. They're like, we don't know why. She can't pull out of it. And he's like, her heart's broken and she's not gonna, she's given up. And so her body's just shutting down.
I just don't buy, not that.
So, yeah, for sure. In this, obviously
her
it's
character.
Yeah.
In
right?
her character, I would expect that she has children now and her motherly instincts are kicking in and going I'm going to fight.
Right.
That's what I would expect from her character.
And I wonder... So
I found that very odd. I was what the heck?
I did too, and especially because, again, the Clone Wars series and the extended universe stuff in the books.
She has to die. We know that.
Well, right, but
but at least let her kill her.
If it wasn't for this very weird ending,
let her be sitting there nagging at him. And he was
yeah. If George Lucas doesn't write Luke living with his aunt and uncle.
I don't know how that's going to play what I just said. We'll find out.
We'll find out. We'll find out in the comments. Tina, you know what? This is what I want to know this week is what you actually thought about what Dan just said.
Yeah.
So when
she was nagging at him, and he
Yeah, and
pulled
he
his
just
lightsaber
like,
out
whap.
and just lopped her head off and done.
So
I'm full evil now.
He didn't
I'm
put
fine.
on the dress, or she didn't put on the dress he wanted her to wear. So
I told you I wanted that dress.
Camden becomes a chauvinist. Episode 3. So like there's something about all of the I guess the complexities and continuity and sticking with what happened in 4, 5, and 6 that really hamstrings 1, 2, and 3 of what they can do,
because we know what happens,
right? And then what they have to do, right? But I will.
Because we would have been way more upset if they just said, "Oh no, she's fine."
Yeah,
like,
because
what do you mean? They said, "Okay, I guess that they were wrong in the original movies."
Yeah,
and I
right.
have to
Like, how do
question
you
everything?
retcon that, right?
Yeah.
So,
which is possible, but
right. So there's
but dying
also
of lack of will is dumb.
And when you look at her character, like the way that they've built her up, she's the youngest queen ever in Naboo.
Yeah, she's a
and all
baller.
this. Yeah, for sure. She's an absolute beast. Don't you say it. She's an absolute beast. And she
she is busting.
Yeah, she's busting. There you go.
That's what I was gonna say.
Okay, yeah. I thought you were gonna refer to something else that we've been
she's
texting each
busted.
other about. No. So all right, so
No, but she is very brave.
She is awfully courageous, and there's a lot of that character where this doesn't make sense. The way that I've heard it best explained, at least and obviously doesn't settle the argument, but the way that I've heard it best explained that allows like my brain to be like, okay, I could see that, is that her last like bit of courage was that like her heart's being broken over this time. She realizes, because she's talked to Anakin about how he killed them, not just the men, but the women and the children, right? Mm-hmm. She sees the footage of him killing the younglings. Like she doesn't want her kids around that.
See the footage. Obi-Wan sees the footage. But then Obi-Wan tells her about it.
Yeah. That
she indirectly.
She knows.
Yeah, she
knows. Right? Whether or not he shows it to her or not, there's a lot of debate on whether or not she sees it on the
off
ship.
screen.
Yeah. So anyway,
and Lucas knows about it.
But I don't. But the last thing being that this was her last big act, was to save the kids because she was done, and that she tried to hold on long enough for the twins to be born.
Obi-Wan wisely takes Leia and gives her to a king,
Bail Organa,
on another planet,
Jimmy Smits,
and then takes Luke and gives him to Anakin's brother back on the planet that he found him.
So Anakin's stepbrother.
I know.
Yeah,
I'd remove step. I'm saying he didn't hide Luke very well.
But he does go guard him. They don't send anybody to guard Leia.
I'm going to hide him the best place I can, at his house.
Yeah, they don't send anybody to guard Leia, but they do send Obi-Wan to be with Luke.
Just a weird place to hide him is all I'm saying.
Yeah, I also think that, like, retrospectively, with Bail Organa is a weird place to hide him.
Yeah.
Because not only was he
is
like a very like prominent senator,
this
but
is
also incredibly good friends with Padme.
This is why I was so excited for Rey to be... I know we're getting into a new movie, but
yeah.
I was so excited for Rey to
We're going to go from episode 3 to episode 7.
I know.
Yeah.
But for her to be a Skywalker, which we won't get into, yes or no.
Yeah, for a while.
But if you haven't seen it, but there's a new one, that there's a new character who's on Tatooine, and we don't know who she is, right?
She's not on Tatooine.
Yeah, you're right.
She's on Jakku.
Okay, but she's some person of interest.
Yeah, on a desert planet and all that, yep.
I was like, she's a Skywalker for sure. This is the right way. Dropping her off, you get to fend for yourself. I'm sorry, but what we will be protecting you from is the evil sorcerer.
Is Rey Luke's daughter?
So you don't know yet.
Yeah. You'll find out in episode 9.
You don't know yet.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, you're about 6 weeks away from finding that out.
So I jumped ahead a lot, but that's
right. So do you have any other questions for us?
Why was Uncle what's his face?
Uncle Owen
against Obi-Wan in A New Hope whenever he knows
he's
that
a
Obi-Wan
farmer.
dropped him off.
Yeah, it also
it's simple answer. He's a farmer.
If you watch the Obi-Wan series,
farmers don't like
you
magic.
Can see, like
they don't like outsiders.
He's not into it, but
they
also
don't like people coming in and messing with their crop rotations.
They know what Anakin did to the Sand People.
Yeah.
And they've seen the remnants of what he did. All of the galaxy is now living under the oppressive rule of the Empire. The Inquisitors are coming by, which is another character that you don't know about, but they're Jedi hunters that happened during
Farmers
the early
don't
part
have
of the
time
Empire.
for any of this nonsense.
Yeah, like the Jedi decimated them, and so yeah, he
definitely doesn't want some
sees
spook
his
hanging around.
And
I'm using it in like the CIA sense to be clear.
And I think he sees what Anakin did and is like, this is the spawn of pure evil, and you trained, or like you failed his dad.
Yeah.
And allowed him to become evil. I'm not.
You're done.
Giving you a chance to fail the kid.
You're done.
I see.
That's what he said to Owen.
That makes sense.
Oh, that's what Owen said to. Okay, never mind. Moving on.
Owen's got better hair.
What else you got?
I don't think so. I don't think there's anything else. There's a
So
lot
overall,
of, there's
so
a
we've
lot of good
completed-
lines in this movie.
So we've completed.
Yeah.
the-
What were the good lines?
What were some good?
Yeah. What are some
good
good
lines?
Um,
Did you write any of them down?
I did.
Excellent work.
Do it. Do it.
Okay, I like the impression. Yeah.
Whenever whenever Obi-Wan drops right behind Grievous, and he just goes, "Hello there."
Hello there.
Yep. That is a classic Star Wars line and prequel meme.
Yep.
Yep.
There's a lot of good lines in Star Wars. There's
a
I
lot
love
of good
you,
lines
I
in
know.
this movie specifically. Execute Order 66.
Yeah. So we didn't really talk about it. What did you think of Order 66? Were you ready for that?
Do you think it was
I didn't
cool?
realize it was like that big. Like literally everyone gets betrayed.
Yep.
Like everywhere.
Yeah.
Like everyone was under.
The clones have a chip, a compliance chip. Boba Fett doesn't get it because he got to belong to Jango. So he doesn't get the compliance chip, but all of the other clones have a compliance chip, and if they didn't follow Order 66 or didn't have the chip removed, they got killed immediately.
Dang. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I didn't realize like even the clones or whatever they are with Yoda.
Oh
like,
yeah, they turn on him like immediately.
Yeah.
Yep.
And then Yoda just freaking annihilates them.
Yeah, and it's weird to see all of them like escape. And like the ones that escape, it's weird to see how they get away, and then to watch some of these other Jedi that you're like, oh, like Plo Koon has, I think, one of the coolest designs of all of them. He's in.
Oh yeah, he's got the cancerous.
Yeah, and then he's got the
and
funky
sharp,
like filigree mask and all that.
And the sharp spikes out of his ears.
Yep, and then so like
carbon fiber blackness.
Yeah, Plo Koon is really cool. Kit Fisto is really cool. He's the one that's got sort of like the traditional alien-looking eyes, but also has like the tentacles that look like dreadlocks.
Oh yeah,
and all
green?
that stuff. Yeah,
green?
he's green. He's really cool, and they just get like wiped out.
Yeah.
And again, like in the Clone Wars series, like those are really powerful
in today's
master
in memoriam.
Jedis. Yeah. Yeah, today's in memoriam. Plo Koon, Kit Fisto, Kai
Years
Mundi, Aya Sakura. Yeah.
Qui-Gon Jinn.
Is Qui-Gon Jinn alive?
No.
We don't know.
Okay, because
he's not.
Is he?
We do
So
know.
is
He's not alive.
He
so is he
Force ghosts.
just? So that's what they were talking about whenever.
He is the
Whenever they're like,
very
you can talk to
first.
Qui-Gon.
He's the very first one that realizes how to force ghosts.
He
Okay.
dead.
That's what I figured they were talking about, but
That's
I
why he
wasn't
didn't fall down.
100% Sure.
He's got
We see a body.
he just gets sabered through the liver.
I've got a surefire test.
All right, Camden. Final thoughts.
Um,
I think that's a great one.
it was a good movie. I liked it.
All right. What are you most interested in seeing come episode 7? Because that'll be your next watch.
So this would be right after.
This comes after episode 6.
Yeah. What's that one called again?
We fast forward
Return of the Jedi.
Return of the Jedi.
Yeah.
into The Force Awakens.
What happens in Return of the Jedi?
The Ewoks and then the crazy
Oh,
Death
yeah,
Stars
they get rid of
exploded.
Yub Yub for the celebration song.
Yeah.
And then we get young Anakin instead. That's the one where I was
we
like
see-
constantly showing you how it got messed up.
We see at least a deathly blow to the Empire itself, or the end of the Empire.
Ooh, dum dum dum. Yeah, and
How long after Return of the Jedi is
about
the
20
next
years.
movie?
Yeah,
Like in universe time? Okay.
yeah. Yep. So,
Yep.
did you like that? Yeah.
Yep.
So, is there anything that you're looking forward to there?
Yep.
Okay,
I
cool.
don't really remember.
Yeah, I'm interested to see your overall thoughts on the sequel trilogy now that you've watched the original and the prequels. I think it'll be fun to get that because it's an entirely new cast of characters, and you're not working around so many of the odd. Like, we're trapped by what happened in 4, 5, and 6 and how we have to write 1, 2, and 3.
The continuity stuff.
Yeah, the continuity things really aren't there like they are in the prequel series. Last question for you that I have, and I'll give Dan an opportunity to fish out a nerd and give it to you.
Yeah, I've got a.
What
I
did
can hawk up.
What did you think of the no?
No.
Yep.
That one.
Yeah.
You nailed it.
I mean, what about it? Like the
Cool, not cool.
Yeah.
Intimidating. What
I don't know if it was intimidating.
Like, what did you think?
It was
But-
not intimidating.
I mean, it sounded. I don't know how to describe it. Not really like genuine, but like it sounded.
It sounded.
It had a
really
sound.
sounded.
There was a bass player friend of ours who used to tour with Toby Keith, and he was playing for all of Toby Keith's opening acts. And Toby Keith's bass player, or Toby Keith's band was like his own guys that he traveled with.
Mm-hmm.
The bass player from Toby Keith's band was the band leader, and he would often observe the other bands. The compliment that he would give to them when they did a good job is he'd be like, "You guys sounded."
You guys really sounded tonight, boys.
That's a great compliment.
Yeah,
And that's what you think of Vader's no.
He sounded.
I think that's fair.
I think it's also terrible that they ripped that no that we all hated
Yeah.
because it is not intimidating and it was weenie. It was the Vienna sausage of no's. And then they just like inserted it into Return of the Jedi.
I think that Vader could have done more like physical stuff because he just goes like no.
He doesn't know how to walk like a little baby.
Yeah, he like
It's like when I
stumbles
stand
out.
Levi up on the counter and he's like,
I think he could have. I think
like he's constipated.
Like, whoever's in the Vader suit could have done like more than just no.
Cool.
I don't know what like.
I
don't
like
know,
the way that you do.
I-
The way that you're doing it, you sound like if Stitch hit puberty. All right, Dan.
No, I agree. I think it was, anytime Vader's on screen, you've got an opportunity for some really cool moments.
'Cause he
And
looks-
that
he
was
looks so
just
cool.
not one.
And that
He
was
looks
the,
so intimidating.
and that's the reveal.
Yeah.
Right? Like that's the Vader reveal.
Vader
think-
not knowing how to walk.
I think that they.
And roll credits.
Yeah.
I think that.
I think that no is
In-
better placed in Young Frankenstein than in
Set again. Are you a young Frankenstein?
No.
we might have to
we'll
turn you
remedy
into
that.
a Mel Brooks before we turn you into a Lord of the Rings.
I love that idea.
I think you're gonna hate his reviews of it though.
That's fine.
Yeah, that's fine.
An
Okay.
honest review is
anyway.
fine.
Yep.
I think that in episode 6, I
Yeah.
don't think it should be young Anakin. I think it should be older Anakin, just to kind of postpone the reveal that he is Darth Vader. I think it would be better if they reveal it right here, where Palpatine takes him to the thing, and then it shows him putting on the Vader mask.
Yep.
I think that would have been a freaking baller reveal that Anakin is Vader.
Yeah, it would have been
would've-
really cool.
That would have been
But Star Wars prequels and revisionists are full of nothing but other missed opportunities by ruining the original plots.
So that leads me to my question.
Yep, final question.
Is the original series and then now the prequels, how would you rate them as series? Which
Yeah,
one?
because we
which
gave the
one-
original trilogy, the sum of all of its parts was greater than the individuals. You gave the original trilogy an 8.5
Yeah. So what
as
do you
a
give
set.
the prequel?
trilogy.
Yep.
if I were to just rate the whole trilogy,
Yeah.
The sequel trilogy, because we know about the
I think
original.
episode 1 really brings it down. I didn't like episode 1.
I remember that.
I'd say a 7.
Okay.
Cool.
Yeah.
Well, we've got sequel.
Yeah, we got the sequels.
We also have a bunch of standalone movies.
Yeah, there's a couple of
Depending on
standalones.
how
There's the
in-depth we wanna go.
series, the live action series, the animated series are so good, but the live
know if
action
I wanna
stuff
watch.
is
200 episodes. Of.
Yeah,
That is also my challenge. Is like, oh my gosh, that's a lot. But you take it one at a time.
Yep.
Yeah. How do you?
Or a few at a time. You know, we take a handful or whatever.
But I mean, I thought the same thing whenever
Camden,
I started
how do you
watching
eat an
the other
elephant?
Yeah.
Whole.
No, you don't. They're endangered. Thank you for watching, everybody.
Yeah, make sure that you check out the
Watch
links
and
to all of the
subscribe.
other Christian Nerd HQ shows that are in the show notes, those that have the stuff on YouTube. And if you're listening on
before
audio,
they kill us.
all the other audio stuff, thank you guys for listening. Like, subscribe, ding the little bell, and
Dingle bells, dingle all the way.
Oh, what fun it is to
On YouTube, when you go subscribe to us.
you guys stay hard, keep
And
jamming.
Apple Podcast, Spotify, wherever you consume, go check us out and give us a little love, baby.
We'll see ya.
Show us a little shoulder.